Welcome inside to Biscuits, Brews, and Ball Podcast. It is episode number 4 here on February 20th, 2022. My name is Jack Withrow, and in the studio, the Generations Physical Therapy Studio here in Hurricane, West Virginia, is my co-host, Bryan England. Welcome back, buddy.
I'm glad to be back. I really hated to miss last week.
I know you did.
Yeah, I was really disappointed.
If anybody, if you want to go back and listen, we had Cassidy Wood, the WOWK TV 13 sports director, on the podcast, and she shared her life story.
Oh, she had some great stories.
Oh, yeah. She lived.
You can tell she's pretty passionate about it.
Yeah, she does a great job over at WOWK TV 13. Grew up in San Diego, California, but she had family in Fairmont, so that was a good interview with her. And we are on YouTube, by the way. If you're just listening to our audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcast, you can also look at our pretty faces.
Yikes.
Yeah. Over on YouTube, so we're there.
Pretty faces and dad bods.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a dad bod. That's the thing nowadays.
Embrace it.
So, yeah, embrace the dad bod.
Beards, dad bods, pretty
Coffee.
faces, coffee.
And biscuits. That's a whole nother podcast, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, it is February 20th. It's nice out here today.
Oh, my gosh, it's amazing.
The weather is bipolar.
Hopefully it's not a teaser. I mean, sure, it's February 20th, so we're getting close.
Yeah. So I'm ready for the spring and summer. Warmer temperatures, at least. I woke up. I was in Morgantown Thursday and Friday for the state swim meet, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But we went up, and it was just a driving rainstorm all the way up 79. Gosh. It was terrible. And there was a wreck 3 miles before the Morgantown exit, the Star City exit. A tractor trailer had caught fire, and we sat in traffic for 2 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
Right there on the interstate.
Should have just parked and walked.
Well, I had all my equipment. So we were streaming the state swim meet for the WVS SAC. So anyway, it didn't get off to a good start, but had a great time in Morgantown with that swim meet. They do a great job. It's a great facility up there, and just a good time. So, but anyway, today we have a special guest. It's Ripley legend.
He's most definitely a legend.
He is a legend. That is Mr. Bryce Casto. Bryce Casto, welcome inside the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball Podcast.
Well, thanks, Jack and Bryan. It's a pure joy to be on there. Very honored.
It is a pure joy.
I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans as we go through here. You never can tell.
Never with us.
We want shenanigans. So if you got any, bring them.
Bryce is always full of shenanigans.
Yeah, you never know. Try to keep them guessing.
But you are the athletic director, the current athletic director at South Charleston High School. You still teach,
yes.
I believe, driver's education.
I'm out there every day, educating the youth of America.
I've seen you drive.
Yes. It's always an adventure. Really, it's a good time, and it's I'm towards the end of the teaching career, but it's amazing how many students now who I even have children of students I've had in the past, and so multi-generational, but stories that emanated in the parents' generation making their way to the children. That's pretty cool.
Yep,
absolutely.
Now, you were the head coach at South Charleston. Of course, you took over for Coach McIntyre my junior year at South Charleston, 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that seems so long ago.
I was born in 87, by the way.
Well, there you go.
Outstanding. I just went grayer and lost another hair.
Jeez.
It was a good year.
Jeez.
It was a good year.
So you were there from 87 to 95, correct?
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. And I think I've told you this recently, and Bryan, I think I've told you that Jack Withrow still made the best high school football play I've ever seen.
I've heard.
You talk about just a great lesson. He blitzed and actually missed a tackle. But did a seat roll, got up and chases a guy down inside the 5. We win the game by 5 points. He doesn't show effort, make a play. I mean, that's just I point to that over and over and over as a great life lesson. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. That's and Jack made that. Of course, Jack was also on our staff when we won the state championship in '94. So it was great.
Yeah, Bryce, let me ask you a question. What was it like coaching Jack Withrow?
Well, it was a challenge every day, of course. Now, of course, the interesting thing now, Jack's dad and my dad actually worked together for Princess Susan Coal Company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Jack's legend preceded him as a player. I knew about Jack Withrow before I actually had the privilege of coaching.
That's probably why you came to South Charleston.
I said, well, it is. That was the cherry on top of the cake. You know, they got to coach Jack, and Jack's dad Bill, my dad Jim worked together.
Nice.
Yep, that's true.
Awesome.
So you were also in 1994 on that state championship team. You were named the state's high school coach of the year, I believe.
Yeah, it was very humbling, and it just was. It's something I don't display a lot in my office, but that's one of the things I do.
Yeah.
From the State Sports Writers Association, just one that really touched me.
And then after South Charleston, you went on to the administration over at West Virginia State, correct?
Yeah. Yes, I was director of athletics, and also finished my career down there as vice president for student affairs.
Yes.
Good time. It's my alma mater, or college alma mater, so it was fun to be able to get back.
Mine too. Yep. We had Nate Burton on just a couple episodes ago. I bet you're appreciating everything he's doing for the alma mater.
He's doing a fantastic job, and the facilities and the funding, and I just great man who's doing incredible things for West Virginia State University, and I'm real proud of him. Proud to be an alum.
I see that you're now a two-time Mountain State Athletic Conference Athletic Director of the Year. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, 2 times. It's maybe a little bit of a man bites dog thing, but it's.
You and Tim George just hold that down, don't you?
Well, if I'm in the category of Tim George, we're doing pretty well. Tim George is a great man at Spring Valley, and we have a lot of fun.
You're talking about a man that loves food.
Yeah, well, I've asked him, on social media to adopt me, and he'll post these pictures of these incredible mouth-watering dishes, and so far the paperwork hadn't made it through, but I'm gonna. What they used to have in I can't think it was used to have a hardship draft in some of the sports, so maybe I'm going to go apply for hardship adoption or something with Tim George. I'm going to have to work on Jamie. His wife Jamie, she's a wonderful lady. I'll have to talk with Jamie. Maybe she'll adopt me, and Tim will just be brought in by osmosis or something. I don't know.
Now, up at Ripley, when you played at Ripley, word is that you were the homecoming king in 1976, is what I've got. But there was some hanging Chad ballots out there.
That's the way it was. That's 100% true. I'm not sure. It may be at that point in life, it may have been not hanging Chads on a ballot, but maybe several pencils broke and the pencil heads broke as they tried to mark the ballot. I think that's what happened.
But did you play under Mike Reed?
Yes, I did. Absolutely. Okay. My sophomore year, Coach Reed was our football coach, and we've had it's been interesting. We've had a lot of interaction with him through the years. He was at South Charleston, and when we won the championship, and then of course he's commissioner of the West Virginia Conference when I'm down at West Virginia State prior to that, and so he just kind of followed through. Then when I came back to South Charleston, he was there as a counselor. So we've it's been interesting through the years. We just always ran into each other. Of course, all these children, and then of course Drew that plays there at St. Albans Down basketball. Just followed him just all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. Drew Reed, a senior at St. Albans this year. Of course, his dad Andy
played at St. Albans.
Played at St. Albans.
Yeah.
So
his Uncle Mike.
Yeah. And another name that you played for, it's familiar here in the Kanawha Valley, Steve Stoffel.
Yeah, Steve Stoffel was actually who replaced Mike Reed as our coach, and just a great man, and followed him through. Of course, I knew his son, Stevie, or as we called him, Little Steve, when he was actually almost a toddler, and of course followed. His daughter was, I think, a 2-time All-State softball player, and a fantastic program at St. Albans.
Playing at Westland now.
Absolutely. Just so it's funny how small the sports world actually is when you just bump into. A lot of folks kind of bump into each other through the years.
Yep.
important folks. It's a great thing.
Now, I hinted on the MSAC Athletic Director of the Year, and you just came off of hosting the Mountain State Athletic Night of Champions that
Yes.
finished up last night with the championship games. Tell us a little bit of what goes into that event on your side.
Well, that's actually pretty much a year-round process. And we'll debrief here next week with Commissioner Hamrick, and the city's hosted it for several years. And the city of South Charleston just does amazing things in terms of for youth, and Mayor Mullins and Gerald Berge, they just are visionary when it comes to youth athletics and wanting to bring folks into South Charleston and exhibit the quality of life that's there. And we're in the process of building a new community center, about 4,500 seats, which is just, I mean, the conceptual stuff on that's just amazing, and it's only going to get better and better and better. And this will be a multi-use facility, not only for athletics, but do have concerts and other things. That I'm real excited. But it's a year round, and we look at it, and they want to bring folks to town. But it's we book the dates a year in advance, of course, and we just work to the goal and have fun.
Bryce, tell us where that new facility is projected to be.
Well, they're still looking at a couple of different sites. I've heard out on Quarter G and up in the Dow Center is another place they're considering. Still haven't had said exactly where they're going to build. Still deciding and doing some site visits just to make sure they built the correct place. The challenge here with the previous one is, it was built in the flood zone of all things. Right. And even if they just would have built the thing to the front of the lot, of course, that predates present administration in South Charleston. If they even never built things to the front of the lot, they wouldn't have the issues. But last year we had to host the Night of Champions at the high school just simply because probably as bad a flood as I've seen in that facility. Mm-hmm. So we'll be glad to get a new facility. It's fantastic. The place looked great there yesterday.
Yep. I saw the crowd there. Of course, Bryan and I jumped in there to watch the Black Eagles play the Highlanders of Huntington.
All right. So a good win for us.
Definitely a good win. They played well.
Yep.
Yeah.
South Charleston's
Marsh has got them going. I'm just they're continuing to improve, and I like it.
The hot topic now for South Charleston High School is the new football coach, as you guys recently announced. Is South Charleston alumni Carl Lee coming back to take over the head coaching job? How did that go? The search process and everything that is involved with that.
Well, of course, Carl Lee is South Charleston to the core. And even when he was, in the NFL, Carl was always heavily involved in South Charleston. Very, very good to the town. The town's been good to him. And there was a lot of folks who'd reached out to him and asked him to apply, and he wanted to do so. And we, of course, Carl's been a friend for years. When I was coaching South Charleston, he was active in the league. And it just was a great fit. He had an interview that just knocked our socks off. It was just incredible. And the vision he has for the program and developing our young men and teaching not just football, but life lessons. Carl's a very, very strong football mind, but he's an incredible man. Mm-hmm. And I think our players are very fortunate to have a man of his character and leadership and football knowledge to be our new head football coach.
He's about your age, right?
He's 61. I'm 62.
That's what a great guess. Yeah. It was somewhere around in there.
Well, man, if you try to guess my weight, I'm going to have to duck or something here. I don't know. You got some sort of salt and stuff going on here. Yeah, it's crazy.
Sideshow over at Kings Island trying to guess your weight. Win a prize.
We talk about Coach Lee's age, but there's quite a few coaches here, multi-sports, in the Kanawha Valley that are still having a lot of success. You know what I mean? Despite the age, and it's awesome to hear that Coach Lee is excited and ready to bring the enthusiasm. I mean, you look at Coach Alan Osborne; he's got 699 wins. He's been doing it for 40 plus years, and I think his next game is against Nitro. So, but yeah, just I think Bob Mollett just got the Buffalo football job. you know.
Yesterday the night of champions, Lonnie Lucas at Huntington High.
Right,
He's been
Lonnie
there,
Lucas,
they've been there for many years. And, it's all, one thing about being around young folks is it keeps you mentally young.
Yeah.
And, there's sometimes you're really, you've heard the old cliche, age is but a number. There's a lot of truth to that. As long as you can still relate to the kids and make a difference, that seasoning comes in some solid ways. So I think we've got some. I've been quite excited to see folks. And of course, coaching is largely a young man's game. I don't think that, or young man or young woman's game. I don't think that's any secret. But it's still good to see those who still have stuff left to contribute and want to contribute take that opportunity.
Yeah, and I say, the guys like Carl Lee and Alan Osborne and Rick Green and Mick Price, and those guys are lifelong learners. Those guys, there's a reason why they're still good at this age, and that's because yes, the years are a little older, but they're willing to learn and adapt and change and do what they need to do to motivate, and I think that says a lot, and I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Cal Bailey, of course, who we lost a couple of years ago. And Cal Bailey always said at West Virginia State, he said, when you think you as a coach that you know it all, that's the time to get out. Mm-hmm. he said, because it's always changing and methods. And that's one thing I always said. And one thing, he's a big influence. He's a baseball coach, and I'm coaching football. I learned an awful lot from Cal Bailey about how to deal with people and inspire things. The X's and O's can be the easy part. It's how you deal in the relationships you build with players and constituents that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of things are going on around South Charleston right now, Bryce. Just a quick state of the athletic department at South Charleston.
Well, we're real pleased. One thing that we're excited about is we fielded a full wrestling team this year for the first time in many years. Actually hosted a tournament, which was the first on-campus wrestling event in 30 plus years.
Well, I know my junior
maybe
year,
closer to 40.
No, hold up. It's not been that long. My junior year, we had an event during school.
Yeah, you want to count how many years ago that was, Jack?
It's not 40.
I didn't say 40. I said over 30 plus. And I said it may be 40.
Yeah, it wasn't 40. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
nice. We got to write that back. It's been a while. And Coach Ted Coombs done a magnificent job. We have, had a full wrestling team and qualified actually 3 for the state tournament.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yesterday, and we just hired Keith Bowles in soccer, who's kind of a youth soccer legend in South Charleston. Our girls team is Harry Rico and Bryan Rosen. They're going to be pretty good here for the next few years. Shane Saunders in baseball has been impressed with what he's done thus far in terms of getting our baseball program built, and we've got some significant work being done at the ball field as almost literally as we speak. Yep. In terms of dressing it up and getting ready for the season. And I'm real excited about Chrissy Orcutt and what's going on with her. I think we're going to have a big softball season this year. So we just keep growing our basketballs. What Josh Daniel in the boys side is building a monster there.
Yeah. And
we've got an awful lot of players returning next year. And you put Carl in the mix, and life's pretty good in South Charleston right now, and I'm really excited about our coaches and the effort and what they put in for our students. Kim Williams, our principal, gives me one of the greatest gifts. That's the ability to do my job, and she trusts me, and I'm thankful for her leadership, and it's just a lot of fun. We're enjoying life.
You had a couple of swimmers up at the state meet I saw as well.
Absolutely.
A couple of boys up there.
Yeah, Bill Triplett and Cooper Simpson. Bill qualified for 2 state finals. I think Cooper, in his event, shaved 3 seconds off his personal best. So that's what it's all about.
You didn't know I was an Olympic-like swimmer, did you?
Well, you're of course, this is for the young folks listening. You're kind of the Jim McKay of athletics around here. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat and all this type of stuff. And you've got to see all. I tell you what, Brian, I remember when he had a little table down the side of the court there in Winfield with your games. Now he just kind of keep going. Now the next thing you know, he's he's got podcasts with you, and you just never can tell where you're going to find him.
You never know.
And he's Twitter famous too. He's got cutouts in Morgantown during COVID seasons. I don't know what's going on with him.
Hey, you got to get a cutout of yourself.
Well, I'll tell you what, yours was fantastic.
That's a.
And didn't you move around the arena some too? Did they switch those around?
Yeah, they
Yeah, you weren't always in
know.
the same seat. Why would you sit in the same seat? You got these things from different angles. That's a life lesson.
Hey Bryce, we got a couple former Black Eagles working for us at the Tap. Dylan Burford, he was a golfer.
Absolutely.
And Tyler Atkinson, heck of a baseball player.
Absolutely. Two great young men. Had both of them in class, and please extend greetings to them. I see them every now and then. I saw Dylan at a basketball game earlier this season, and I saw Tyler there too. So, but please always extend greetings. So I'll have to do the pop in and come out and say hello. Yeah,
they've been doing a good job for us.
Well, they're good young men.
We know you like food, so
well,
they got some great food over there.
Yeah, my lack of a waistline, it rats me out on that issue there, Mr. Withrow. I used to have hair in the waistline. I don't
I
anymore.
remember when you had hair.
Yeah, it's scary. And I tell you about, here's a lesson on karma. My hair used to be so thick I had to thin it to get it to do anything. And so, now look at me now. So you ever hear about karma? I'm a big believer in karma.
And you used to sport the bikey coaching short.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was like the poster child of 1980s coaches, and I had the long tube socks too.
Oh yeah.
But I noticed in the picture you put up for the podcast, you whipped one out from West Virginia State with actually drew an arrow of attention to the the black and gold pipe tube socks that were the odds of the day or something like that. I don't know. It was whatever the famous brand is. That tube sock. That was it.
Hey, you know me. I'm always a step ahead of you.
That's actually true. That's it. You keep me guessing. That's for sure. It's one of the great things. It's was Roddy Piper in professional wrestling? He said, just when you think you got all the answers, I change the questions. That's you, Jack.
Yep,
that's you.
Hey,
there you go.
I was taught by the best, my dad and you.
Well, there's other words for it, but there's a couple of wise guys there in terms of what smart alecky and things. There's other words that some folks may have called us back in the day, but decorum prevents discussion of that here.
But in all seriousness, note, I learned a lot from you guys that I have developed into a dad myself, and raising kids, and a lot of credit goes back to not just my dad, but you and a lot of my coaches. So I appreciate you, Bryce.
I appreciate you, Jack, and Bryan. What you all do for young folks is amazing. And of course, your dad was just an incredible man, and I enjoyed it. He'd always, all through the years, we kept in touch, and it's just that's what it's all about, Jack. What you just said there. We could take the wins and the losses and all these other things about, but it's teaching young folks to become successful adults and go on to be successful dads and moms. That's what it's all about. That's why we do this, and leave it a little bit better than you found it, and that's how you kind of a little bit live forever. I know that sounds cliche, but that's true.
And for the listeners out there, my experience with Bryce has been limited to my time coaching in the MSAC, but one thing I can say, and this is a testament to you, Coach, is every time I'm around you, the positive energy is definitely radiant, and it's very much appreciated. Every time we speak, it's positive, it's cordial, and obviously I've admired what you've done as an athletic director, which has been my experience with you. So for those of you that don't know Coach, he's one of the best here in the Kanawha Valley, most definitely.
Yep. Well, Bryan, that humbles me very greatly. I feel the very same about you. I like folks who are positive and have positive energy. That I think that has a multiplying force, and again, by doing that makes the world a little bit better. And you're a very sincere man, and what you've brought to athletics and the community with your businesses and such. I just very much enjoy being around you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, Coach, we're going to let you go. Ripley's been playing football since 1919, but there has never been a stud like Bryce Casto come out of Jackson County.
Well, before they were the Vikings, you know what the nickname was? Oh, this is the mic drop moment. They were the Mosquito Fleet.
Mosquito.
I kid you not. That's true.
Did you say Mosquito Fleet?
Mosquito Fleet. Yes.
Well,
before they were the Vikings.
Luke Salmons and Eddie Smolder might have something to say about that, but I don't know.
Well, they're both consistent sources of good ideas. So you never.
Well, we're going to take a break here on the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. We've been talking to South Charleston Athletic Director and Ripley legend, Bryce Casto. Bryce, thanks for allowing us the time here this afternoon. It's been a privilege to talk to you.
It's my pleasure always, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
See you, Coach.
Take care. We'll see you. Thanks, guys.
Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
To wear the blue and gold, you have to stay prepared. That's why we shop at Little General Stores, the place we can always count on when overtime hits.
The LG family works hard to ensure your daily needs are covered by offering ways to fill up both on and off the court.
The best snacks, along with a friendly staff, makes LG the place to be. Trust us, your essential needs are covered.
Little General Stores, your Rose neighbor.
Find out more at lgstores.com.
Oh, and by the way, tell them Coach sent you.
Welcome back inside Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast here in the Generations Physical Therapy studio. Jack Withrow alongside Bryan England. Just had a great conversation with South Charleston Athletic Director Bryce Casto, and that was an awesome interview.
Yeah, man, he's a great guy.
He is. Of course, he was my coach, one of my coaches at South Charleston High School. So he's always going to be coach to me. So we've talked about that before, but great guy. His son is now coaching baseball at University of Charleston.
Yep.
So with Robbie Britt. So he probably a lifelong dream for him. He's probably always wanted to be a baseball coach, and now at that level.
Yeah.
So that's good for him. But we carry on. Again, you're listening to the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast over on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, as well as on YouTube. You can watch it. So we've got that going for us. And this past week, Bryan, we talked about it earlier. I was up at Morgantown at the Aquatic Center at Milan Park. Man, that's a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
It's a couple, maybe 3 years old, I think. 3 or 4. But anyway, this coming week, they're getting ready to host the Big 12 swimming and diving championship up there. So, but here we had the state meet on Thursday and Friday. That Thursday was the preliminaries, and Friday the championships. So I went up Thursday. We streamed the preliminaries on Video Productions, but then I got to call the championships on Friday with the James Miller with Swim WV, and man, that's an awesome event because I know there's a team championship and everything, but it's all built around each individual
Right.
race.
That's what I love about track and field too.
Yeah,
You know,
and,
same
and wrestling.
concept
And wrestling. Tennis is that way.
Yeah.
Golf. So a lot of sports are like that. But so that wrapped up. And on the girls' side, George Washington continues to dominate, I would say. That was their 9th title they won this year, 3rd in a row. They defeated Morgantown, which has a very good team as well. A lot of good swimmers there from Morgantown. And then Buchanan, Upshur, Bridgeport, Fairmont Senior on that side. On the boys, it was Parkersburg South that won. That's their 2nd title. They won back in 2016, I believe. And they defeated Bridgeport, Huntington, and then GW, who had won the thing last year, came in 4th, and then Buchanan, Upshur.
Yeah. I got a lot of respect for swimmers, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much swimming you've done, but
I did a lot. People do not believe me, but of course, back in high school, my day, we didn't have high school swimming.
right.
It was just summer league, and you swam for your local pool. Shout out to Ridgewood Pool in South Charleston. Yeah, I don't. We had a mascot. I can't remember what it was. It was always might have been Dolphins. Ridgewood Dolphins. Does that sound right? I don't know. But I swam quite a bit, and so I had that background of swimming.
Right.
So and you can see Swim Fast. I got this sign.
Nice.
We were cleaning up after the meet, and that sign's laying down there. I was like, that's in my studio. That's I didn't buy a T-shirt, but I'll get a free sign that somebody made. But Swim Fast, that's what they do up there. So you got to win.
I had the thought one time I was going to be a triathlete. Once I was out of college, and biking and running is something that I did. I ran cross country and track, and my dad biked, so I had my fair share of biking. But the swimming was the unknown, So at the time, I was living in Taze Valley and working at the YMCA in Taze Valley. So I go in there and thinking this is my first training session for the triathlon, and I get about half a lap down the pool, and I'm like, whoa, this is different. I did about 2 laps, and I was like, well, I think I'll.
And that's at a pool.
Yeah.
You go and do these triathlons. They're not in pools most of the time.
No.
They're in lakes or
Yeah.
in the ocean. Yeah, it's a tough sport. But check this out. Parkersburg South won, and they're out there celebrating. And it's got to be their head coach. And I probably shared this video in a group text, but he's in he's fully dressed, suit and tie.
Yep.
Dude walks up to the top of the platform, the very top platform. You know how the highest platform is?
It looks pretty high.
I had to Google this.
How many feet?
10 meters high,
Okay.
33 feet. Doesn't sound like, it's not that high. Until you get up there.
Yeah.
And I've been up there. We set a camera at the 3 meter level.
Oh.
So I've walked up there a few times here the past 2 years just to set that camera. But he went all the way to the top. And I've got a video. I'm going to show you this video if I can bring it up. Check this out. Boom, in the water.
In his full coaching gear.
He's got his tire. Let's reverse that. And about right, let's see, right there.
Yeah.
You got to think, was this wise? This is probably what he's thinking. Is this wise? But then it's like, I'm all in. Hashtag all in right here.
I'll say that I have had that experience, except my experience was a 50-footer at Summersville Lake, and I had that same thought. About 10 feet down, I was like, oh my God, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 30 feet high. I can definitely relate to that.
So he makes the plunge. They all cheer. Everybody's happy. So good for him in his tie. He made it. So I thought that was a great video. Now getting on with everything else. After the swim meet, we still got basketball, and it's coming to a close for regular season. And we've got some teams in the Kanawha Valley that are playing really, really well.
Yeah, quite a few in the Kanawha County. I mean, GW obviously just won the MSAC championship, and Capital's been playing really well. I think Matt Green's done a great job with this team. We talked to Bryce about South Charleston. They're they're rolling right now. I mean, Huntington is not a bad team at all, and they just took care of business yesterday in the MSAC placement game, third, fourth game, and obviously St. Albans is on a roll right now. They're playing hard, and I think they've won 6 out of their last 7, I believe, and got 2 next week. Spring Valley on the road and Scott at home going into sectionals, so they're playing really well. Coach Dana Womack, first year, is doing a great job, and obviously TJ Douglas and Jordan Garrett, his 2 assistants, with them, who were with me when I was the coach. So,
and you got another team that's playing really well here late. They didn't have a good start, I don't think, to their season, but Cabell Midland, may be a team to watch out for.
Yeah, well, they've been there, done that. They've got the experience. I mean, the Schmidt brothers have been in the state tournament the last 3 years for Chandler and 2 for Dominique, and obviously they've got some athletes around them, some big, strong boys. So, it's a battle every night in the MSAC, and you know every year it's funny. You look at the state rankings, and you got 4 to 5 teams typically, in the MSAC that are in the top 10 or top 12. Yeah. And that's, no different this year. So it's going to be a dogfight here in the Kanawha Valley going into sectionals.
Yeah, you and I talked about this briefly yesterday over at the Rec Center. It's going to be Capital and South Charleston in the sectional.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I mean, those are 3 teams, GW, Capital, and South Charleston. And the top, I don't have the rankings in front of me.
Got to be 6, I think.
Yeah, top 6 in the state. And only 2 of those get to go to the state tournament. And that's just a travesty, but it's the way it's set up.
If they win out.
If they win out, yeah. So it's a travesty, but at the same time, that's where we are. And a lot of times those teams in that section are battle tested and ready, and that's why you see the section do pretty well in the state tournament usually. And the region. I mean, you got Beckley. Historically they've struggled a little bit this year, but
beat Princeton, I think.
Yeah, seems like they've turned it on of late. So,
of course, you got Greenbrier East and Princeton down there. Greenbrier East beat South Charleston earlier this year, but then South Charleston went back down there and beat them. Of course, Capital and South Charleston split.
Right.
South Charleston beat Capital back in December, I believe.
I'll be interested to see the rankings in the region. Obviously, for those that don't know that are listening, that the coaches vote in the region for the regional rankings, and they rank your sectional tournament based off of your placement in the regional rankings. And so, it's very tight right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that vote comes out in that region.
Yep. So that's coming up. Girls' side here in the Kanawha Valley, you got Huntington. They won, didn't they? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I didn't.
The championship. I think it was a blowout. But them, Cabell Midland playing well on the girls' side as well here in the valley. So be interesting to see those teams, how they go through the postseason, which is quickly approaching. Oh, man. Basketball season's almost over. Got the Mountain East Conference coming up.
February 20th.
Yep.
We're coming up on sectionals, and my favorite time of year is March, man. I mean, you got March Madness, college basketball's in gear. You got
What was it last year? Because we didn't play in March. We started in March.
Yeah, last year it was May Madness.
Was it May?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Mountain East Conference also, University of Charleston and men's and women's teams are vying for that one of those top spots in the conference here in the regular season. Coming down to the wire, of course, UC and West Virginia State will play to finish the regular season at Institute next Saturday, I believe. So that's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. It's always a barn burner, no matter where they're ranked in the conference.
That gym ought to be ready, Nate. So
he's ready. He's ready for everything. Nate Burton, I saw on Facebook, was at Duke University yesterday watching Duke and Florida State play. So great experience. I was able to go earlier this year and watch them play Miami, which was a loss. Rarely do they lose in Cameron, but great experience for Nate, I'm sure.
Yep. So we've got that going. Of course, the Mountain East Conference just finished up their indoor track and field. University of Charleston swept that with the men's and the women's titles. And then they finished up their swimming and diving season up at Malone University in Canton, Ohio. They team up with the GMAC on that for the swimming and diving championships with the Mountain East Conference. So that is past us, and now I guess we look forward towards, like you said, March Madness and basketball.
Yep.
And so we've covered basketball. We had Bryce Casto on here. The only thing left now is to talk about food and brews.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good sandwich this week. Tri-tip Philly, Bogey's Barbecue. For those that don't know, Bogey's is located at the driving range there beside Big Bend Golf Course in Tornado, but they have also put a little restaurant in the Tap. They're running in the kitchen at the Tap, and which is one of the businesses that we own.
Yep.
The Tri-Tip Philly, obviously, I don't know, for those that don't know, the Tri-Tip is a cut of the sirloin and very tender piece of meat. And they put the caramelized onions on top of it and put some awesome cheese and put it on a hoagie bun. And I'm telling you, Jack, it is to die for. For those that are listening, you can come get it 6 days a week at the Tap, Monday through Saturday. So come check it out. It's really good. Tri-Tip Philly, and you can get a side of coleslaw, mac and cheese, potato salad, whatever you'd like. So that's my food of the week. What about you? Would you have anything good?
My food of the week was back on Monday, and there's a couple restaurants that I like now, little small dives. They're in the city of Nitro. Mm-hmm. One is Catherine's Cafe in Nitro. And, there I get burgers and chicken Philly, steak Phillies. Really good. It's got kind of an old bar feel to this place, but it's really good food. So I go in there. We eat lunch there all the time. The other place is called Dream Day Cafe in Nitro, which is just right almost beside Catherine's. It's in the next block. But there, man, it's like home cooking.
Is it?
I call it like Deals Light.
Nice.
And you've ate at Deals.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're home, your grandma's cooking.
Yeah.
But Dream Day Cafe is kind of reminds me of Deals. So, but Monday I had the chili and grilled cheese. And they brought out a big bowl of chili.
Nice.
And the grilled cheese is like a double-decker grilled cheese. You got your bread, your cheese, your bread, your cheese, your bread. I think that was right. But anyway,
yeah.
so you're almost like eating 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with your big bowl of chili, with your crackers and cheese and everything.
Did they butter the toast? Did they put it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You soak it in butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So that was my meal of the week. But those 2 restaurants.
Go support them. If you're listening, go check them out. I mean, we're talking about good food. Go check them out.
Yeah, local.
That's right. Eat local.
Eat local, spend local. That's what it's all about. And those 2, again, the Dream Day Cafe and Catherine's Cafe, both right there in Nitro. Of course, Bryan has already mentioned the Tap over in St. Albans, and so many good things going on in St. Albans as well.
Yeah.
So
as far as brews go, I had a really good beer this week. It's Sour Me This. Duclaw is the brewery, and it's called Sour Me This Strawberry French Toast. And it sounds kind of weird, but it was smooth.
Do you have that for brunch today?
It's very much a brunch beer for sure. I did not. I was working, actually. We're doing an ownership takeover of the brunch. So the owners are actually waiting and cooking, which we've been cooking, but now we're waiting. And
how'd that go today?
It went good. Well, we were busy. Let's just say that. And we were glad. Obviously,
that's what you want, though.
Oh, yeah. It was our first Sunday doing it, just us. And so we were actually short a man or a woman actually, because of illness with one of the children. Yeah. But my wife, Laura, she had to stay at the house but because my daughter's sick. But so we normally we'll have 5 of us in there, plus somebody washing dishes. But, yeah, I mean, 2 things. One, we do it because we want to make sure that, we're doing and we know what we're asking our employees to do. I think leading by example in that way is a good thing. And also it's just a good way for us to, to be present within our clientele and them know that we're active owners, So it's exciting. We'll probably be doing that most Sundays in the foreseeable future.
Yep. So that's good stuff. You got the ice cream store still going, and I know I would eat ice cream any day of the week. It doesn't matter what temperature is outside, but you've got the store now, the storefront there at St. Albans, and of course warmer weather means your trailers will be back out. And
Right.
you guys are going to keep the one in Tays Valley at the garage.
Yep.
And talk is one in South Charleston now.
Yeah, so we are going to have one in Tays Valley at the garage, a semi-permanent location. We say semi because we can haul it in case we need to, but JP Owens owns the building there at the garage, and we'll plug it in, use his electric, keep it there, treat it like a storefront, and we'll have that open late March, early April. And then obviously South Charleston, we're actually meeting with the city this Friday with Mayor and Mr. Berge and some other people, and trying to figure out a location for that. So, the South Charleston location, listen, it's going to be obviously around the interstate access, and being a South Charleston guy, being a Susie's regular, the traffic through there, and we're excited about that. And I think it's a product that will come to South Charleston that people will enjoy.
Yep, that's awesome. So we'll have look forward to that in the warming temperatures. The 2 trailers for Crafts of the Cold Ice Cream. So, Bryan, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah, good episode.
Yep. I want to thank Bryce Casto for jumping on with us today. Always a pleasure to talk to him. Never minces his words, does he?
No. He is who he is, though. That's why we like him and appreciate him. And like I said, and I wasn't just saying that to flatter Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a genuinely great person.
Yeah.
And when you're around him, you feel the positivity.
Yeah.
I mean, and you feel the kindness. And to me, it's inspiring, and it's a guy that I look up to, and I've only known him for a few years. I can't imagine actually being coached by him.
Yeah. Yep. He was a great guy. Great experience for me being coached by Bryce Casto. Again, you can watch our episodes on YouTube and listen on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. This has been episode number 4 of the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. Until next time, have a great day.